So you want to be a full-time YouTuber this year, or maybe you don't really want that pressure and you just want to make this magical side hustle money that everyone talks about on social media that's so easy with faceless channels. Just kidding. And so you want to do this, but you feel like maybe you're lazy, or honestly, you're just unmotivated for whatever reason. Or if you're none of those things and you're more like me, where it's not that you're lazy, you work your butt off every day because you have 4 little kids that you chose to homeschool, and the idea of setting up multiple times a week, potentially, light boxes, fixing the freaking audio, getting fully ready with the eyelashes. Okay, maybe this is just a me problem, or the best part is cleaning your house and your background so you don't look like you live in an actual zoo. And then at the end of that day, you would rather do anything else on planet Earth than memorize lines, script the dang video, and then edit the video through all hours of the night. We're gonna talk about what strategy helped me and my husband build our channels into this 7-figure business that allows us to basically put out, specifically, I'm gonna talk about the video that I posted, I think last week, that made us $42,488 from this one video, and the income is going up. And so how are we able to do this? We don't have a huge, or any of our channels aren't massively viral. We haven't hit 1 million subscribers on these channels. In fact, the one that you're watching right now, this video, this channel I'm reviving, it's an old dead channel that I decided, okay, I'm just gonna use it and revive it into a business channel. You don't need to amass, or honestly, the worst part is maintain a huge amount of views in order to hit most income goals. You need the right strategy. You need the right income streams, and you need laser focus on what you are and are not willing to do, regardless of whether you're lazy or you're super busy and overwhelmed. You need the right strategy. But before we do, my name is Haley, and on this channel, I basically teach new and established content creators how to build a values-first business where they don't have to rely on algorithms, obviously, like I said, to get paid. They don't have to do sponsorships. They sell their own products, which gives you just so much peace of mind and has absolutely changed my life as a mother of 4 little kids. And so if that interests you, subscribe down below, and let's go ahead and get into this strategy. So the first thing we're gonna cover, make it a lot easier on how much you actually work with your YouTube channel while hitting your income goals, is based off of this quote by Charlie Munger. If you know where you will die, don't go there. So it's basically like, how do I succeed, and what causes failure, and how can I avoid it? Okay, so when you are going through this phase of YouTube purgatory, like I was in for the first 4 years, and I was pushing out video after video after video, and I got really a low amount of views, and I barely got paid for my time, and I felt like this isn't worth it. And that's because in the end, it's not, because you are lengthening the time of needing to face this grind because you don't have the right strategy. And so we're going to be talking about the YouTube burnout cycle, which I feel like most people go through for at least 3 to 5 years, sometimes more. And so the first phase of this is the dreamer, okay? You are a person that feels like the world is your oyster. You see all the money other YouTubers are making online, or content creators on Instagram flashing their G-Wagons, whatever. And you think all you have to do is just put out a faithful 1 video a week or 2, whatever your number is, and you will eventually make it. You just talk about your passions. Oh, I hate that when people say this, and the money will flow. Absolutely not. The money will not flow unless you want pennies to flow to you, which we're going to talk about a money strategy in a minute. Okay, so you are in the dreamer phase, right? And you think that I can build the skills, I'm gonna build the skills, I'll do whatever it takes. And so this is what happens. Most people, myself included, start to face what is psychologically called the Dunning-Kruger Effect. So basically, it's where people overestimate their abilities, but they really lack the knowledge or skill to actually do the thing that they wanna do. So this is like editing, or actually having a personality on camera and you just didn't realize. It's so much harder to be yourself when you're by yourself and no one's watching you. Or like I was mentioning in the beginning, what's so annoying for me is adjusting the audio or getting the right lighting, or why do I look like a fisheye with my camera lens, right? And so you have all of these skill deficiencies that you did not realize were going to be huge hurdles. And people who think that it's going to be super easy, or who don't know how it really works, tend to be an even bigger victim of this. And they put really unrealistic expectations on themselves, and you know how that goes. So if you're like any millennial or anyone younger than me, you will probably have a natural bent towards instant gratification. Okay, we get everything that we want. You just swipe your finger and, you know, a new toothpaste is on your front door from Amazon, right? Or whatever you need is at your fingertips. You can order food. I can order food from anywhere in my area and it comes in like 20 minutes. It's sick, okay? We can have whatever we want, whenever we want it, nearly. And so when you aren't seeing traction, you start to get the shakes, all right? Because we are used to this dopamine reward of getting whatever we want fast. And so you start to approach this reality check in phase 2 of the YouTube burnout cycle where you're like, oh, maybe no, because, you know, I have kids now, or even if you don't, I want to live my life. It takes me way too long to edit these videos and film them and set up and get ready just to get 12 views. This is not worth it. I am not getting the return on my time or money invested for me to say no to social outings or for me to wake up super early and film before my job or go to bed with light boxes, which I did for years while my little babies were sleeping and filming and trying to be quiet. It's a nightmare, really. So you ended up underestimating how hard it would be to build these skills and just how many skills it would require to make money. And so your optimism is just slowly fading over time. You start to skip uploads, you start to make excuses, you start to look at other income streams as a easier grass is always greener type of shiny object syndrome for creators. You're like, well, maybe blogging is going to be easier on my lifestyle, or maybe it is Instagram. I can make reels. They're so fast to make, right? Why don't I do that instead? And so you're holding on to this metaphorical tiny thread of hope. And so you're still posting sporadically, but at least you're posting, right? And the kicker is it's all just to have your optimism absolutely crushed when you see another brand new, it's always got to be a brand new creator in your niche post the same dang video as you and get like 127,000 hypothetical views overnight. And you're like, what is wrong with me? I don't have the special sauce, okay? I don't have what they are having. The algorithm is against me. It doesn't like my channel. And so you go to phase 4, and there's a good chance if you go here, you are never going to be successful because you're going to stop and start over and over and over, and you're never going to just admit to yourself openly, I do not have the skills required right now to make a substantial amount of money and my time worth it on this YouTube channel. Where what is actually happening is you are battling this victim disease mentality. And I know I could say this because I've been here and done that multiple times, where you're blaming it on the algorithm. You're blaming it on a niche. You're blaming it on it's not the right season of life. So you start something new, you got the shiny object disease syndrome again, and you repeat the cycle over and over and over, and you never actually build the skills required to meet your income goals and far surpass them. And I can say this to you guys face to face because it took me years and years and years to realize and say to myself openly, Haley, you just need the freaking skills to meet your income goals and far surpass them. You don't need another niche. You don't need another income stream. You don't need another YouTube channel or an algorithm that favors you better. You just need to look yourself in the mirror and say, I don't have the skills. Let's go out and get them. And if you do that, if you tell yourself, I'm going to attack these skills, the skill of on-camera personality, the skill of choosing the right income stream, and even having the knowledge of which income stream I should attach myself to according to my goals and my niche, which we're going to get into in this video. And also more specifically, choosing a niche that supports your family, that supports your values, like I said in the beginning, and your dream lifestyle. Because a lot of people are choosing niches that go against everything that they believe in their lifestyle that is important to them. And so if you do all of these things, you will get out of the YouTube burnout cycle and you will succeed, but only until you get the skills required to match that success. So let's go ahead and talk about the actual strategy that avoids this YouTube burnout cycle, and something that I wish I would have told myself nearly 10 years ago when I started my main channel and I was trying to figure out how to actually make money and grow a YouTube channel the way that is best for my specific values. Just so you know, all of the advice that I give on my specific channel is for people that want to spend more time with their family. So not people that want to put their kids in daycare 40 hours a week and build this huge team and kill themselves to have success. It is for people that want to earn the most amount of money with the least amount of effort, not because they're lazy, It's because they're smart, they're strategic, and they want a values first business in the form of being a present mother or father, wife, brother, sister, all of that. And so this is how my advice is curbed. Step one, you need, and now this is something I feel like nobody says openly because they're so scared of offending the masses. And every other guru says to basically choose a niche where, I don't know, you're most passionate about, or choose a niche not based off of how much money you could make, but based off of how excited you are about it. This is such BS, excuse my French, advice, because it just is really given to people that are like infants. I don't know, people that are teenagers that have all the time in the world or something, that don't have bills to pay, a mortgage, I don't know, hopefully not, but like car payments or medical bills or little kids to put in school. I mean, that advice is so faulty unless you want it to be like a side hustle. Yeah, like do, your starving artist path. Not the artists can't make money because they make a killing on YouTube actually, but let me reel it in, okay? Step one is choose a niche that actually pays you and that allows you specifically to hit your income goals where you live. So this is something I, again, wish I would have known. I wish someone would have shaken me and really open my eyes to reality, not the dreamer phase where you can have it any way you want. I mean, you can to an extent, depending on where you live. So for instance, I live in Orange County, California. And I live here because I love the weather. You can go to you can go snowboarding on Monday and you can go to the beach on Tuesday. We live in the best place, regardless of how you feel about the politics, which really, irk me at times, but I'm here. Our family is here and I choose to homeschool for a reason here. And so we love it. And we also hate a lot of things about it, but we live here and it's one of the most expensive cities to live in the whole of the United States. So if I'm looking at YouTube like a business, which helps you avoid burnout because then you actually get money faster and you actually get a return on your time invested, making it worth it, right? You should chase money on your YouTube channel from day one so that you don't quit. I should have been like, Haley, you live in one of the most expensive cities in all of America. And so how much money that you need to make to live here with your family, which is so important to me, regardless of how you feel about where you live. I think that I'm happier personally living by my family. I need to make a heck of a lot more money than someone that, let's say, lives in Kansas. Or yes, I actually lived in the South. I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. And while it's expensive over there for the South, it is dirt cheap compared to where I live now in Orange County, California. And so my niche needs to reflect how much money I am able to make. And so I battled with this for so many years. And you guys will know if you followed me on my main channel, it's motherhood content, it's homeschooling, it's stuff that doesn't make as much as obviously this channel. It's my passion. It's what I wish I could talk about until I was blue in the face. But what is most important to me? My values. And this is an exercise for you guys, right? You have to ask yourself, what niche will allow me to hit my individual income goals? The question should not be, what am I most passionate about, unless you want to go on the burnout cycle, which I know because I did that for years and years and years, not just me, but all of my colleagues, a lot of my students, and they're just now exiting the burnout cycle to treat it like a business so that they can be an adult and hit their income goals, right? And live the life that they want. And so oftentimes it's such a battle. It's a struggle because you're like, I want to do what I love, but I also care a lot about my values. And so let's specifically talk about how choosing a niche from the get-go that will allow you to hit your income goals relates to values. So for instance, what I've talked about on this channel openly is that I am only willing to, and I draw the hard line in the sand, to work 1 day a week. And also, yes, I want to live amongst my family and raise my kids in Orange County, California. So I need to make, like I said, a heck of a lot more than people in most of America. And so that will help me curb which niche I really dedicate the 1 day a week that I work into. So for this niche and for niches like health, wealth, or relationships, people are more willing to pay you for solution to problems in those specific niches because they are desperate for a solution versus people that maybe like in the gardening space, which you can still get into and make a lot of money. But you have to ask yourself, does this require me to amass a huge amount of views in order to get paid? So in this niche that I'm in right now, YouTube tips, content creation, making money online, it does not. So like I was mentioning in the very beginning, the last video was when I checked before, and I don't even look at the views on this channel. I look at the sales because that's what matters. It was around like 17,000 views, but that video, like I said, made over $42,000, at least as of last week when I checked and scripted this. In sales for my product that I sell myself. And so you always want to ask yourself, how many days a week do I want to work on my YouTube channel? And number two, does this niche support the income level based off of where I live and how much money I want to make to get this so-called freedom life that I want to tap into? And so let's say you live in, like I said, I'm just picking a state. Okay, I'm not picking on the state, but Kansas. Okay, it's cheaper there. Like everyone knows it's cheaper there than it is here. Let's say you only need to make $3K a month. You can do most niches to make $3K a month. You can do like drawing or gardening or things more like business to consumer. You could just make all of your money probably in AdSense or probably in, for sure, sponsorships. And so it's more of a low key way to run your business. You want to choose a niche that does not basically require you to film 7 days a week. All right. Maybe you choose one that allows you to do talking head videos, although they're not as glamorous. I can be a better mom if I just bang out a bunch of talking head videos like this one, and I'm not filming all aspects of my life and being more intrusive on my family. I've done that, no shade. Okay. And so that's step number one, which leads me to my second point, which is not only do you want to choose a niche that supports your income goal. So you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I know that the niche that I'm going into, that I'm dedicating my life to for this business, is going to allow me to hit these income goals, regardless of whether you live in Orange County or Kansas or New York City or Michigan? Like, how do you actually know? Well, the first step is you have to know how much money you want to make per month. All right. In your dream lifestyle, I call this to my students like your freedom number. So I know you could probably put any number down, $1 million a month, right? But I would just, I want you to dream, but I also want you to be a little more realistic. I'm not totally woo-woo manifester, anything can happen, find $1,000 on the ground type of person, really. And so because of that, the number that I think you should write down is based off of the pain in your life. So people are more apt to run away from pain than they are towards pleasure. So I would have you write down a number that frees you from your deepest pain. So hypothetically, let's say your husband hates his job, his boss yells at him, and it's making him depressed, and he makes $5,000 a month. All right. So your goal is, I got to make $5,000 a month. Years ago, when I became unexpectedly pregnant with our firstborn, we didn't have hardly any money. We were in college student loan debt of 40 grand. I've talked openly about this on my main channel. And so I had to basically make enough money to where I did not have to put her in daycare. So that was $54,000 a year at the time we were living in LA, which is still so stupid expensive. And so I had to, whatever 54,000 divided by 12 is, I had to make that in 9 months. And I did. I killed myself and I made it happen. I was more strategic than ever because of the pain that I was going through. I was in daycare. I did not want that for my child. No shade. I did it. And my mom did the best she could, but I did not want that for my infant. And so I worked my tail off pitching brands and doing whatever I knew to do back then. And I made it happen. And so that's what I would have you guys write down. What number will help free you from this pain in your life? And so that is where we're going to lead to step number 2. So now that you have this number and you hopefully have a niche that allows you to hit this number, you have to ask yourself, well, depending on where you live and how much money you want to make per month, what income stream, just one, because a lot of people say there's 7 incomes, there's 10 income streams on YouTube, but really you make the bulk of your income from one, depending on which skill you have. And so you have to ask yourself, what income stream is going to best support this monthly income goal based off of how many hours a week I want to work on my YouTube channel. So for instance, and I've talked about this, okay, I am only willing, as a homeschool mom of 4 little kids, age 8 and under, I'm only willing to work 1 day a week on my YouTube channel. So that makes it very easy for me to have a clear head and not have decision fatigue and wondering which income stream do I look at? What do I focus on? It's very simple. If I want to make, now I've talked about this, $100,000 a month because of where I live and I don't want to stress, I want to have more money for, investment accounts. I want to help the people in my life. I want to give a lot of money. and whatever. That's a very triggering number, but I'm open about it because I think it's possible and you should too. And so money shouldn't trigger you ever. It still triggers me. No one's perfect. But if I want to make $100,000 a month and I only am willing, right, hard line in the stand, values-based business, to work 1 day a week to be a better mother and wife or the best that I can be, what income stream, what niche? It's very clear. I'm not going to focus all my time, even though I love it, on my motherhood YouTube channel that talks about homeschooling and like whatever pregnancy like I have in the past. I'm not going to focus on brand deals because when I was doing that as a full-time YouTuber for 2 entire years, I could really only, my cap was like 20 grand a month because you need a lot of views, which means you need to work more than 1 day a week producing content to get better. I don't want to. I want to create talking head videos so that I can spend more time with my kids, so that it's very simple, and so that I can out-earn most YouTubers who choose to kill themselves in a harder niche with a harder income stream like sponsorships or AdSense or affiliates, where you need to post and grind and get more and more and more views and maintain a massive audience. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm getting too old, okay? And so it makes it very simple. And so if you guys know how much money you want to make every single month based off of your pain, that's just a tip for me. You don't have to go there. And also what niche supports making that much money based off of one income stream. It also made it very simple for me because when I ask myself in step number 2, which specific income streams allows for me to have this values first business, it is very easy for me to answer that question. It's selling my own products. I don't need to have a massive audience to get paid. I don't need to be at the mercy of a bunch of other brands. I don't need to go massively viral in order to get more and more and more money from sponsors. And I still do sponsors, but I don't need to. It's like a cherry on top. I can use that money and put it in probably mutual funds is what I'm going to do. Moving forward, I'm not going to live off of that money and have a very stress-filled life like I did years ago. And so that's why it's very important to think from a bird's eye view, what life am I constructing through building this YouTube channel? Because how you live your life is, number 1, which niche you choose. If you choose a niche where you need to film 5 days a week, then that is how you're going to be spending your days on this earth, right? Or number 2, what income stream am I focused on? If you're focused on income streams that can only scale with the amount of views on your channel, you're going to be working more, right? Or if you, like me, choose income streams where you control them, like digital products, courses, or coaching, you can make much more than the average YouTuber because you're able to take home over 90% of the revenue from your own products, unlike giving most of your money to a brand, which is nothing wrong with that. It's just you will make less money. So the third step is going to really free you guys from what you feel like you need to do on your YouTube channel. So I've coached probably over 1,500, upwards of 2,000 YouTubers at this point over the last 6 or 7 years. And many of them have quit. They've kept in the YouTube burnout cycle because not everyone's successful. No matter what course or coaching program they take, they choose to quit because of their unmet expectations, right? They want the instant gratification and all that. But the people that have stuck with it and have looked themselves, like I said, in the mirror and are able to build a values first business from day one, allowing themselves to only do things in their business that supports their family and the things that matter most to them, they succeed. And so my next step for those of you guys who are ambitious but lazy is to really simplify your YouTube process. So many people look at who is already successful on YouTube and believe in their soul that they need to do what the top creators are doing, when in reality, that is just who is on the platform right now. You can be a breakout person in your niche and do things complete opposite. And I believe you'll be rewarded for it because there's only one of you. So for instance, I did everything completely backwards, not based off the values. We talked all about that. I won't rehash it. And let's take an example. Okay. So this is a typical fridge declutter cook with us video. Now you're going to roll your eyes if you are over the age of 30, maybe not. Actually, there are like amazing videos that are very helpful on organization and declutter. It's just, I roll my eyes at myself because I didn't know what the heck I was doing and I wasn't even good. I'm not even organized really as a person. So I was just jumping on the trends. You know, I was in the desperation phase of it all. And I was the full-time breadwinner with my husband, but he had quit his job at this point. It was a whole thing. We learned a lot. Okay. And now we work together and it's a way different lifestyle. All right. I only have had, I think, one child at the time. And so these videos would literally take hours and hours all day long. And if there was a sponsor, they would take multiple days to film and edit. And so at first this idea seems so amazing. Okay, I'll just do sponsors like everybody else and I'll film my whole day like everybody else. I got to compete, right? This is what is accepted in the niche, right? And so you just do it and you feel like this is how I have to, have success and not answer to a boss. And it sucks. All right. I did this for years. I ended up having to film this twice because I cooked something wrong. We had to go back to the store to get more ingredients. There's something wrong with being like a traditional YouTuber influencer that does all brand deals. But again, if you're ambitious but lazy, this is not like the path for you. You will burn out. It's so much harder and more time intensive than you could ever imagine. And so how did I fix this? All right. Did I have to completely switch niches? I mean, I ended up doing that years later. Obviously, that's why we're here. But I basically just stopped creating content like this altogether, slowly but surely. And so even if I was making a ton of money, if I didn't like it, or if it forced me to be a worse off mom or wife, or if it forced me to be a stress case, it's not going to be something I want to do for the rest of my life, right? So basically, if you guys follow the 3 steps in the strategy that we just covered, which is number 1, choose a niche that allows you to hit your income goals. Number 2, actually choosing an income stream that supports hitting the goals that you want to hit based off of your values and where you live and how you want to actually spend your time. And number 3, creating content that matches your dream lifestyle. You will be able to break out of that YouTube burnout cycle and build the skills required that sometimes takes years to hit most income goals. If you guys got value from this video, if you want me to do individual videos on choosing a niche or choosing an income stream or talking about what it's like to actually film and edit the videos specifically, then let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.